But
Like a gym. Yeah, basically, yeah. You good? All right. I'm looking at this one, right? Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Jab Journals. I'm your host, Dan Smith. I'm back again at Stars and Strikes Gym. I'm sitting next to Erick Reaves,
Hi.
Undefeated amateur fighter. Just had a fight last night, Erick.
Yeah,
I appreciate you taking the time out to see us today.
No problem.
So let's go right into it. Less than a minute of work last night. Got the job done. Tell me how you feel.
Feeling good. Ready to get back in here and get down to 170 to do it again.
Yeah, just on to the next one, huh? Right after
Pretty
that.
much trying to just keep fighting for as long as I can. Try to rack up these wins and stay undefeated. Turn pro and do something with this.
Yeah, so you're already 2-0, 2 knockouts, both of your fights under a minute long.
Yep.
That's we were kind of talking off camera. That's kind of your mindset going into the first round, right? Like
Oh, yeah,
how do you feel
absolutely.
going in right when you walk into the cage, going over there?
The first round is gonna be like this for as long as I'm fighting. So, go for the kill. I'm going in there to kill you, hurt you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's pretty much it. There's not much to it. You just fight. Go in there.
All the guys I've interviewed here are really nice guys when I sit down and interview them. But in that cage, man, you guys are just animals. You just walk over there, like you said, violent. Is that just the mindset of the gym, or is that just something you guys have innately?
Yeah, pretty much. We all train that way to go. It's a violent sport.
Yeah.
When you go into that cage, you're putting your life on the line, so you kind of have to be violent.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So like you said, your career's kind of young. Only two fights, but you've had a lot of exposure to a lot of different things. You went to I believe it was Arizona to watch Justin Street fight BKFC.
Yep. I was in his corner for that.
Yeah, you've been in multiple MMA corners. Obviously, Stars and Strikes is real big in the kickboxing scene around here. But how did you kind of get into MMA? Like, what started you out? Like maybe in high school. Like, what were you doing then?
So when I wrestled in high school, I wrestled for a while. But even when I wrestled, when I went out onto the mat, it was just going out there to hurt them, going out there to win. It's just what I like to do. And so then COVID happened, and I missed doing stuff. So I came in here and haven't really left since.
Yeah.
Kind of became a second home to me, and feels natural.
Yeah, I mean, Coach James spoke very highly of you. Like, again, with Stars and Strikes, Erick wasn't even supposed to be interviewed today. Got a call in the middle of the day and met us here. Like, again, thanks. But, small world as it is, Rich, who's behind the camera right now, he's known you. He said he told me off camera that when you played football, you D-line, shortest guy on the D-line, but always in there in the scrap. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So have you always kind of had that mentality just to go after it?
Absolutely. I don't really know where I got it from, but just, yeah, go in there. I like to scrap. I like the violence of the things, and it's what I'm good at, and it's what I like to do.
Yeah.
So.
Now, you said this last fight you sold over 100 tickets.
Yeah.
You said you had your parents had a VIP table like in the front row.
Yep.
What's it mean like to fight in front of your friends and family like that?
Oh, I love it. When I wrestled, like at states and stuff, I love to hear the crowd and look up and see all the camera fly. I love that stuff. So when I hopped up on the cage and I'm looking out and I actually see my mom and everybody's smiling and happy and cheering, it's awesome. I love it.
Yeah. Now you said you're a little modest about your wrestling career there, but you said you state qualified twice, had over 100 victories. I mean, how old were you when you started wrestling?
I was in 5th grade.
Okay.
5th grade, I think.
Yeah. So you've been wrestling this
my
whole
whole
time.
life, yeah.
And then kind of after you said you boxed a little bit in high school.
Just
training
in the off season for a couple months at a time. Yeah.
Yeah. So did you kind of always know that you were gonna fight MMA? Was that in the back of your mind?
Yeah, eventually. Talked about it with my friends all the time growing up, just because who has gotten into that does this and hasn't gotten into a few fights,
Yeah.
And growing up, getting into some fights, I happen always just really good at it. And so always talking with my friends, one day I'm going to do MMA, in high school and stuff, one day I'm going to do MMA. And COVID happened, so, didn't go to college for wrestling, wish I
Right.
did, but didn't. And then just got fat for a while and then came back in here and lost all the weight, and now I'm fighting again. And
Now you're still you're still working towards the weight class you want to fight in.
Yeah,
We kind of talked
yeah.
about that a little bit too. You fought your first fight at 195. You said catch weight, and last night was 185. How low are you willing to go? Like how low do you want to go?
So I want to go to 170 for now, just because that's what I wrestled at. You know, it's a
Okay.
comfortable weight for me. It's not a hard weight cut at all. You know, I can easily walk around at 80, and cut down to 70, no problem. And then eventually I want to go down to 155.
Okay.
But I do want to stay at 70 for a while and make my name known at 70, possibly get a title at 70.
Yeah. So how soon do you think your fight at 70 would be?
Well, I know I have to have 30 days in between each
Yeah,
fight.
since your last fight, right?
So probably about 2 months.
Okay. Do you think you can cut that weight down?
Yeah, easily.
Yeah.
I just actually checked my weight this morning. I'm only 190. So
I mean, that's got to give you like a vote of confidence going into a fight, knowing you can make that weight cut and that it's not going to be unhealthy for you to do that. But maybe your opponent's like cutting 20, 25 pounds 2 weeks before the fight.
That's another reason why I just don't want to cut the weight like that. It's because it's hard. You're all sucked up. You're drained. It's hard for you to sleep. It's hard for you to eat. And those things, when it comes into fight night, play a factor.
Yeah.
How I'm training 100% the entire time, fully healthy, things like that, versus my guy I'm fighting possibly could have a hard weight cut to 70, is going to come in maybe not properly rehydrated, maybe not properly fed. And those things can make a difference when, you get hit in the face.
Yeah. Yeah, everything changes once you get hit in the face the first time, right?
Oh, yeah.
So now, we talked about your first two fights and how they've ended very quickly. But moving ahead, it's not going to be that way all the time, right?
Oh, yeah.
Do you feel like you're prepared to go like a full 3 rounds, a full 5 rounds at one point?
My philosophy with it is round 1, going to hurt you. I'm going to try to kill you. I'm going to do everything in my power to end this fight. If you can make it out the first round, kudos to you. Then I'm going to have to use a little more technique, but that's not necessarily going to be a good thing for him either. I train with a lot of high-level guys, Justin Street, Dean, everybody in the gym and things like that,
Yeah.
So my technique, I feel, is definitely up there, but I just haven't had to use any yet, just pure violence.
And being kind of newer to the sport, right, and being around those guys, how have they kind of helped you in your training and guided you through your career this far?
If it wasn't for these guys, I don't even know if I'd be doing this still. Could have went to a different gym and just not worked out for me. Might not have liked it as much, but with these people around, they push me to be better.
Yeah.
And they're teaching me a lot. Like working on me with a lot of the stuff I need to work on, and and a lot of these guys already being at the level I'm trying to achieve.
Yeah.
It gives me something to look forward to and something to be around that I enjoy being around.
I mean, as soon as you step through the front door of Stars and Strikes, there's all these pictures of these guys that have won. There's all these belts. It's got to make you want to train harder, get there faster, and
I look
do
at
those
those belts
things.
every day I walk through that door.
Yeah.
Soon enough, I'm getting one up on that wall.
Yeah, it sounds like it, man. From everyone that I've talked to about you, it sounds like you're on the fast track to get at least an AMI title here soon. So what's we also talked about something. We mentioned that you went to Justin Street's fight in Arizona,
for
BKFC. Talking to you and your coach, there's an amateur level to BKFC now?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that a little bit.
They have the BKFC prospect card.
Okay.
Which is, I'm pretty sure it's the 2-ounce gloves, which are damn near just hand wraps. But that's, boxing with 2-ounce gloves. It's fighting with 2-ounce gloves. There's no kicking. There's no wrestling. There's no nothing like that. It's, you stand there and you fight.
Right.
And I love that. I would, after I get a title at 70, I would definitely love to do that at 155.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's crazy. I love it. It's one of the things that makes me want to do this sport.
Right.
Is you just stand there, and they're only 2-minute rounds.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I think the amateur's a minute 30.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But I can go a minute 30 balls to the wall for 5 rounds easy.
Right.
That's nothing.
Excuse me. We were talking before. You said your favorite part about BKFC is that toe the line. You're standing
Knuckle
3
up.
fight from the guy. Explain what What do you think you'll be thinking once you're right in front of the guy you're about to be fighting?
Oh, I don't have to go across the cage.
Right.
Now you're already in my arm's length. And I'm there to hurt you.
Right.
I love the stand. Let's tuck your chin, get into it, throw some hands, and let's see who stays up the longest.
It's kind of funny, as we mentioned and we touched on, 2-time state qualifying wrestler, over 100 victories in wrestling. But you told me you don't like to wrestle. You want to stand and bang.
Yeah, I can wrestle. Wrestling's fun. I can do it. But it takes a lot of energy, and nobody likes to see guys roll around. Nobody pays to watch guys roll around. They pay to see people get knocked out.
Yeah.
They pay for the entertainment purpose. It's a spectator sport. And that's a big aspect of what I really, really love about this is for the crowd.
Yeah.
Like I loved selling the tickets. I love taking pictures with people. Even at my last fight, I had random people taking pictures with me and things like that, which I love. And I want to keep that going for me.
What's that feel like? You showed me a tape of your fight. You ran right up on the cage, climbed the cage, and looked at everybody. What's that feel like?
I love it, man. So, I hopped up on the cage, and I could see everybody. Everybody's standing up. I'm seeing all the cameras flashing and stuff, and I love that. It's such a good feeling. Even when I walked out and stuff, and I heard the crowd and everything, because I had a lot of people there.
Yeah.
So when I went out and everybody's drinking already, so everybody's extra loud. They already seen some fights, So yeah, I love it. It's a different type of energy that it brings. It's almost animalistic.
Yeah.
And I love that. It's what makes this sport so entertaining.
How hard is that to control? You got all this energy filling the bus in the crowd.
It's surprisingly easy.
Yeah.
You just know how to have to channel it right. You know what I mean? I don't get all excited and bounce around and nervous and stuff because it's a waste of energy.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it. I'm here for it, but right now I'm focused on hurting this person.
Right.
And even in the back, I like to goof off a little bit. I'm not too serious of a person.
Mm-hmm.
I took a nap a little bit before the fight and stuff. After I got my gloves and whatnot. So it's good to do stuff like that. I'm feeling well rested. I'm energized. I'm drinking my water. I had a little bit of beef jerky.
Right.
But another quick thing that I like to do is I like to go in hungry.
I like to go in hungry.
I like to go in hungry. I like my stomach to rumble a little bit.
You want to get out of there faster, go get some food, right?
Yeah, pretty much. But just like to go in hungry because it's that animalistic feeling of
hunger.
Yeah. It brings out that the animal.
That's interesting. That's an interesting way to look at it, man. I was in the the backstage for Dean's last fight, and nicest guy in the world talking.
Oh, Dean's such a nice guy.
And then just this switch went off, man, and his eyes got black out of nowhere. He was just this totally different person.
It's that animalistic thing that you have to be able to bring out of you.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are in there. You're locked in a cage with another man, and the ref's gonna pull you off. That feeling must eat at you all night. Then you get in that ring and finally let it loose. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. For me, I don't necessarily say it eats at me. It doesn't really hit me till I hear that cage door shut.
Mm-hmm.
But when I hear that cage door shut, then it's not that you don't black out, but it's kind of like a lock-in thing. Your senses heighten. Everything kind of hones in. You can really hear your corner and things like that. Which wrestling also helped out with that a lot. My coach, Chiola, was my middle school, or actually my little league,
grade school
wrestling coach, middle school wrestling coach, and my high school wrestling coach.
Okay.
I learned how to be able to pick his voice out of a big crowd, because you know how some of those wrestling tournaments can get with the parents and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
All the screaming and whatnot.
Yeah.
So that really helped me be able to pick out the voices of my coaches and stuff.
Now, like we've mentioned, none of your fights have gone past a minute. Mm-hmm. So, can you hear anybody in the ring when you're fighting?
Yeah. So in
the cage, rather.
In my first fight, because I, at one of the points I was kind of feeling the guy out for a quick second, and I could hear Coach James in the back, the moves there, the moves there that he wanted me to hit. I didn't end up hitting it.
Yeah.
But I ain't gonna say what I'm gonna hit because next one's getting hit with it. But so he telling me to hit the move, and I looked at it, nodded at him. I know it's there. But I didn't have to do it. I just fell with these.
Right. Now you like you said, you don't like to wrestle, but you got that in your back pocket.
Oh yeah.
So do you drill that in the gym, or you work mostly
every day?
yourself?
I work everything every single day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just violence first.
Yeah.
You can make it past the violence, then, like I said, I have plenty of technique and plenty of skills that I can use and will use. It's just got to get past that first round.
Now going into your training, we talked a little bit, and you said that you're in HVAC construction. Mm-hmm. And you hate it. You can't wait to just fight full time, right?
Yeah.
But what's a typical day in a training camp look like for Erick?
Go to work, 7 to 3:30. Come home, shower, might have a quick snack. Come here by 6, and I normally don't leave till about 9:30.
Yeah.
I start off with jiu-jitsu or wrestling. or MMA class, whatever is scheduled. And then I either do the conditioning or I do some live rolling or, little light sparring or whatever.
Yeah.
And then we do the pad work and then sparring,
Okay.
you know.
And you said, you've made a lot of friends in the gym.
Oh, yeah.
You mentioned a guy by the name of Drew Spears, I believe. What's it like to, train with guys who
Drew Antolin. Andrew Antolin.
Andrew Antolin. Sorry
Yeah, you
about
fought
that.
last night.
Okay, yeah. But you said, you guys kind of push each other like
Oh, yeah.
towards your fights,
Absolutely. That's definitely one of my better training partners. Better training partner and best friend of mine.
Okay.
We, like I said, we can have some of the hard sparring, talking shit while we're hitting each other in the face,
Right.
Not too hard, but hard enough to, haha, I got you.
Yeah.
Things like that. But then, after a lot of people can't have that hard sparring and then go right back to being best friends.
Yeah.
But like we got that thing where we can push each other to go harder and to really push each other, to past our limits.
Yeah. There's just the few amount of guys I've interviewed in the gym. There's a lot of guys around that weight, that 155, 170-ish, kind of weight. So you'll have a lot of training
yeah.
partners that are fighting at the weight you're fighting at. So, do you feel like that helps you, being around a gym
Yeah,
full of
absolutely.
animals like that, the same weight class?
Absolutely, because when you're training with the guys like that, you know what to expect.
Right.
We got a lot of different styles, a lot of different weights, so if I'm fighting at 170, but I'm training with the guy that fights at 185, when I go fight a guy that's 170, he's not going to be as heavy.
Yeah, or strong. Yeah.
Or as strong, vice versa. A guy that's faster, you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So you can kind of pick and choose depending on what fight you think's coming up, who you can spar with to get the upper leg on the upper hand on the other guy.
Try to figure out the style that's closest to them, and things like that. So it's good.
Yeah. So 2-0, 2 knockouts. What's the future like? What do you think? You said 2 months you want another fight.
Yeah,
and then
2 months I want another fight at 170. I want it to be somebody that definitely has a decent record. Just because I don't want to hear the he hasn't fought nobody thing yet.
Yeah.
So I want to do that, and then probably maybe 1 or 2 more at 70, and then possibly fight for a title.
Okay.
And then after I fight for a title and win it, defend it, and then possibly cut down to 55. Do a couple of fights at 55, just so I can make sure I can make that weight cut.
Yeah, feel comfortable there.
Feel comfortable at it. Know how I feel at it. How fast and how strong I am at it. And then possibly go do the BKFC card prospect.
Very
with
cool.
Chwant's gloves, because national TV.
Yeah.
Toe to the line, knuckle up. Who doesn't love that?
Just want to feel that feeling.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Now, Coach James obviously comes with a lot of experience and a lot of different, forms of mixed martial arts. How has he kind of helped you throughout your early career here?
If it wasn't for him, I don't know if any of this would be possible.
Yeah.
He definitely helped me out with pretty much everything. I can't even put it into words how much, he's a great guy. He'll put you before he puts himself. There's not a lot of people like Coach James.
Yeah. Like I said, again, backstage for, Dean Caldwell's fight and everything, he's just the intensity that he brings back there, you know what I mean? But he kind of knows how to, for every fighter, he knows how to be, like, this guy might not need me to be that as intense, but, like, Dean
He knows how to
me.
channel it.
Yeah. And having a guy back there that's got to obviously give you confidence going into a fight and make you feel like, I got these guys behind me, then whoever's in front
I
of me.
was talking with them earlier, I have Dean, Justice Street, and James, in my corner.
Yeah.
That's a badass corner right there.
Right.
So, with them behind me, I definitely feel unstoppable.
Yeah. So, you're fairly young too. You just said you just turned 22.
Yeah.
Just starting out. Do you feel like there's a lot of guys your age coming into the sport now? It's not
absolutely.
The younger guys' game?
It's definitely getting a lot more popular over the years and everything. So a lot of more people are coming in and doing this. Which I love. I like that. It's more competition. Especially in Michigan.
Yeah.
Michigan, I think, is starting to become an up-and-coming state, with the fighting and stuff. So I like the competition coming in, keeps things interesting.
Yeah. You also mentioned, last night you fought, well, obviously there was a UFC card last night, and one of your guys you look up, Sean Strickland.
Yeah, Strickland won, It was a little boring. I would like to see the old Strickland come back a little more violent.
Yeah.
But he still won, so I'm happy to see that.
Now, is he a guy you kind of looked up to as, someone you'd like to emulate a little bit?
Absolutely. The guy came from pretty much nothing, like a lot of the guys do. But came up pretty much nothing, he's a brawler. He likes to fight. You know, he's here to put on a show, make some money, and that's what I think a lot of us are here to that want to do that, put on a show and make some money.
Any other fighters in the UFC you
I like
look up
Nate
to?
Nick Diaz,
Okay,
Diaz
yeah.
brothers. You know, just the fuck you attitude, and things like that. You know, it's what I love about this.
They
sport.
always make for a good clip, man.
Oh, you know, and I like to say I'm a little bit of a mix of like the Diaz brothers, you know, Sean Strickland mix. You know what I mean? Just the fuck you attitude, and I'm here to fight, and you know that's what people pay to see. That's what
you get in the cage for, right?
Yeah,
you get in the cage to fight. So that's what we're here for,
fight.
man.
You know, I'm here to hurt you. I'm
not
here
for
to
press conferences or podcast interviews.
You know,
but
I like the podcast and all that stuff. I like doing it for the the camera and stuff because that's a part of the sport.
Yeah.
You know, it gives people something to watch. It helps out the fighters get known more. You know, it helps us get our name out and things like that. So that's what I do like this type of aspect of the thing. You know, that's what I don't know. It's fun.
Yeah.
You know, it makes things interesting. You know, it's good for the people. It's good for the camera. It's good for me.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, Eric, like you said, only 2 fights in your career, man. Hopefully, we have a lot more opportunities to talk like this, man. Before we wrap things up, is there any like socials you want to shout out? Maybe someone that you want to give credit to?
Stars and Strikes MMA, of course. You know, that's our home gym.
Yeah.
You guys gonna tag me on Instagram?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, then the tag on Instagram, Reaves.Erick or whatever it is. I don't remember off the top of my head.
We'll get it to you guys. Don't worry. He's just worried about fighting.
Pretty much. I ain't good at all this yet.
That's cool, man. That's cool. We'll get you there.
But yeah, just Stars and Strikes, my family, my friends, my fans. Thank you to everybody that, helped me get here so far, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Absolutely, man. Look forward to talking to you again here soon, okay?
Thank you. I appreciate it, man.
That does it for this episode of Jab Journals, guys. See you on the next one.